I did. This may have a part one and a part two. Sorry. The
There
internet
we go.
suddenly cut out and kicked me off. So
Well, it was weird. You froze. I sent you a message, um, and then all of a sudden it said, "Now you're the host." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I've handed off the power. Oh shoot, now you're frozen again. Can you still hear me or see me?
I can see you.
Okay.
I can see you.
Well, let's hope that this works and continues to work.
Okay.
We may
Am
be
I
doing
still
this again.
frozen?
No, you're not. You're fine. But
Okay.
speaking of losing our trains of thought, now I don't remember what the last thing was that we talked about. Oh, no, I do. Because we're talking about losing ourselves and calling that love, right? Putting everything else
Yeah,
first. And unfortunately,
exactly.
on my end, because the connection was getting so bad, I could only hear bits and pieces of what you were saying. But I know the gist because I've lived it, and I think a lot of people, especially women and moms, we've lived it. And
Yeah.
I always think about this. I don't know if you've ever seen the Joy Luck Club or read the book.
Yeah. Years ago, but yes.
So there's a
Yes.
scene in the movie version where, I don't even remember the character's name, but she's married to someone, and when they first meet, she's vibrant and herself and independent, and he loves that. Rose, that's her name in the.
Yeah.
But as the marriage goes, she starts putting him first and going quiet, and putting his needs first and going quiet, and they fall apart. And
Yes.
they end up like they're supposed to get together and talk about selling the house. They're getting a divorce, and her mom, because of course the Joy Luck Club is all about the stories of our mothers, especially I think when we're dealing with ethnicities outside of Caucasian. I mean, I'm a quarter Chinese, and that film resonated very much with my mother and I, my sister and I. Um,
Okay,
the,
wow.
the impact and the differences when being raised in an Asian culture, even with Asian influence, or in the Latinx culture. There's anything outside Caucasian dealing with the speaking between mothers and children. Not that it doesn't work for if you're Caucasian also, but I'm just saying there's different flavors. And of course, a big
Exactly.
part of the
Absolutely.
Asian culture for females is you're obedient. You do what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
And so these stories are all about the mothers saying, no, you have power. You have power. Be who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who I am. Know who I am. And so Rose's
Right.
mother sits with her and gets in touch with her and says, my mother sacrificed her life so I would have one. So you would have one. And here you are, you're bending over backwards for your husband who's divorcing you,
Right.
who's having an affair. And she ends up standing out in the rain, and he comes into the backyard, and she just lets him have it, just lets him have it. And he kneels down in the rain and says, I'm listening. Because the message being all he wanted was for her to be her. But she's been saying all along, she said, I told myself I was being the dutiful wife, the obedient wife, and that is such BS. Because we
Yes.
we end up putting the needs of all these other people first. And I think we're partly raised to do that. And I think it's the chemicals that we release as well and the hormones that we have. But I mean, I remember when my
Hmm.
when my ex-wife and I were talking about, I wanted I love our boys. I love her boys. I got to be a stepmom to the most two amazing young men now on the planet. But I'd wanted a child of my
Yeah.
own. And we were talking about it,
Oh,
and we decided not to. And it was a long grieving process. But one day she asked, she said, how are you doing with that? And I said, well, the reality is it's okay because I know I can be a good mama, and I know I can be a good wife,
yes.
and I know I can be a good me. But what I've learned with the kids is I can't be all three at the same time for prolonged periods of time. This one goes
Mm,
away, and I
yeah.
become wife and mama.
Yeah.
And and we lose ourselves in that. And I think we are taught to, raised to, but also allow ourselves to, because there's this mentality of everybody else is more important. I was created to make sure that everybody else is okay, whether it's our children and spouse or
Yes.
people at work, people underneath us at work, everything. We have this like, I am here to make sure everybody else is okay. And then we find ourselves,
Exactly.
especially women getting a divorce, find themselves going, wait a minute, I don't even know who I am anymore. I've spent all of
Yes.
this time feeding everybody else and I'm starving and I didn't even know I was hungry.
And this is exactly what I deal with every day, practically. And the sad thing is that we train people how to treat us,
Yes, yes, we do. Hmm.
and we do it, we walk right into it from a place of love, except we forgot to love ourselves first.
Yeah.
And we let that be the excuse that I don't deserve this. And so, and much of I don't deserve or I'm not worthy of or any of these things come to us within the whole body from a place in childhood.
Yeah.
And the other piece of it is that when I see women in particularly transform through this and start looking at putting themselves first, they start gaining more respect, even if they're in the middle of a divorce, they'll start getting more respect from their kids, from everyone around them, because when you start respecting yourself,
Yes. Yeah.
you send a message out there from the vibrational energy that you're sending out that I'm, pretty good here.
Yeah.
And people want to see that, because that's why I go back to that image that shared with us from the Joy Luck Club, when now he's listening because
Yeah.
he fell in love with her,
Hmm.
the way she was, the who she brought to that marriage. And when we change who we are through the marriage, thinking that's what our duty is, we
Yes.
lose ourselves. And then we get resentful and we start to blame. And then we also tell ourselves, well, we were never worthy enough in the first place. So there's all of these dynamics that are going on. It's not, like it's not a cookie cutter thing.
No.
And for all of us, we have to kind of take a look at what it is that's gotten us to that spot so we can start to build our way out of it
Hmm.
in a way that makes a lot more sense and it's a lot kinder
Yeah.
than we try to make it sometimes.
Yes. Well, you have to, it's just like gardening or planting or growing, right? I mean, my was with somebody for a little while. We used to we grew, well, flowers and everything else, but also tomatoes, potatoes, corn, pumpkins.
Wow.
When you need to plant for tomorrow, you have to make sure your soil of yesterday and today is clear, clean, and has nutrients. And a lot of us, we neglect our own soil and we suck it dry. And to
Yes.
really, really get down and grow the world, who we want to be, we have to dig up everything from yesterday.
Yes. And it's just like your garden. You can't just neglect it for a few weeks because weeds will come or it needs
Yeah.
water or all these things, right? If it's going to flourish and grow and thrive, and that's how us humans are too.
Mhm.
We can do something. I see people start, oh, I'm going to do this. This is what I'm going to do. It's like some people who start a diet, which I'm
Yes.
not
Yeah.
a person, but if they don't apply the principles they're learning daily, if you're not doing daily work with your garden, you're not going to get the results that you want. You're not going to get the crop you want, right? And that's the same with us in life and our relationships and who we're being and even our careers or the money we're making or whatever it is. It's really all tied together.
Yes, it is.
And so one area of your life becomes better, all areas automatically
Elevated.
come up with you, right?
Yeah. Well,
And
it's how all things are interconnected. All parts of us are interconnected. All parts of life are interconnected. And we forget both of those things. We
yeah,
tend to treat parts of us as islands and treat individual aspects of other people or life itself as just these little islands when really it's a web.
mm-hmm.
If something unravels inside of me, none of me is okay. That's not
Right?
that's so But then, it's just so, it's interesting because I was thinking about this last night because we never stop growing, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately and also unfortunately, because it's very, very tiring. But there's a whole other, there's more work that I need to do, right? Just on me. And I was sitting there going, I did not sign up for this, right? Like this is so, I'm exhausted. I don't want to keep changing and growing and transforming. But the reality is, if I stop growing, my life dims and I dim and I'm not doing the work that I need to do in this world because we all are connected. And
Yes.
and we really need to remember that. And we also really need to allow ourselves to not be okay. Because I think another reason why we don't shift or transform is we won't allow ourselves to say, I'm not okay.
Exactly.
And we don't allow people to even say that. I mean, I don't know how many times in my life I've heard something like, oh, poor Barbara, she lost her husband and her father within 6 months, but you'd never know to look at her. She never cries. Like that's a good thing.
Right.
Like we want everybody to keep their emotions at bay, keep their hurt at bay, don't ask for help, don't reach out, don't because we call that weakness. When really asking for help it takes such strength because it's vulnerable. And nothing requires more courage than vulnerability.
It's a form of self-love.
Yes.
You are actually saying, you know what? I can't do this on my own. I need
Yeah.
help. I need to reach out for somebody
Mm-hmm.
to help me with this. I'm not sure how to do it.
Yeah.
And what I was hearing earlier about what you were saying is that the fact that we're always expanding and growing, we're either growing or we're dying. We're not
Yep.
ever meant to we were never meant to stay 3. We were never
Oh,
meant to stay 13 or 23 or
oh.
any of the other ages we've been. The whole
I always
idea,
say nothing in life, not even nature, stays stagnant. Stagnant means death or poison in nature. You don't
exactly.
stay stagnant. Yeah.
And when you can find a way, or you're doing what you love and you're finding a way to do your expansion with um, joy. So we flip the script on this. It's not the work that's grueling and hard.
Right.
It's really about what am I running toward here? Where's the
Yeah.
joy in all of this? And it's it's in finding joy in all kinds of small little things, but also recognizing we always have the ability to move our lives forward and find that place of joy, because that's actually what the point of life is. And I think the other piece of it, I've been doing a lot of work with even older people lately and thinking about the sage and the wisdom that comes when we age. I mean, that's the point too, is that you're collecting all this amazing jewels and treasures all along the way. And rather than looking at it as oh God, that happened to me and it was really crappy. Like I look back at my divorce all those years ago, and you know what? This sounds really crazy, but I'm so grateful for how it all unfolded for me,
Oh,
because
no, that's perfect
never
sense.
be
Yeah.
doing this, and I would never be able to work with people and help people the way I do if I hadn't been there at that rock bottom place in that hole,
Yeah.
right? And when I let somebody jump in there with me and help me out of it, I started to see that there's so much more to life that I didn't see then.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. So I think the constant growth and expansion, yeah, it feels so daunting some days, but at the end of the day, it really is that beauty that if we could just bring that along with us and realize that we are all meant to radiate this beautiful love and light, then boy, we can do our work every day with a lot more excitement, and we get up and we get you know awesome vibes around our day, because something, you can always find something to be grateful for, even in the worst of it. Because I know you work with a lot of people or families and things that they're really in a tough spot, which makes a lot of sense. So that's not that's their moment right now. It doesn't have to stay like that.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, in finding something. So one of, I would say that my mental health is a delicate ecosystem, and I work very
Yeah.
hard to maintain the balance. But lately, that has become harder and harder. I'd say over the past year or two,
Okay.
right? That's because of the times we're living in, it's hard. And one of the things that I've made myself do, because especially, I'm neurodivergent, and I always say I can mask really well right up until the moment that I can't anymore, and I decompensate, which is a common symptom around those of us who mask, is that we look like we're okay when really we're not. So no one knows the difference between us not okay and us okay is really just a hair's breadth.
Yeah.
And in order to even get out of bed in the morning, some days I have to tell myself, okay, today I will find one beautiful thing of hope. Today I will find one beautiful, beautiful bit of gratitude or hope or strength, at least one. And on days that are very, very dark, I make myself look for more than one. And sometimes it's just a cute puppy video, but most of the time it's examples of humans doing extraordinary things to take care of each other and themselves.
Exactly.
And I have to remember, like, if growth is hard, and growth is joyful. We as humans, we tend to think black and white, right? It's either this or that, up or down, right or left, when really life exists entirely in the gray. It's one moment that could contain seemingly 1,000 paradoxes that really just coexist. So like you said, how are you today when we first started talking? And I said, well, and I'm tired. Well, I am tired, and I'm also in a good mood. And I started a new art project, and I'm cranky, right? Like there's like all these things in one, and growth is hard, and it hurts, and it's beautiful, and it's healing, and it's necessary. And who we are on the other side of it is, I won't even just say a happier, because happy is so transitory, right? Like it comes and goes, comes and goes. But we are a more vibrant human being on the
Exactly.
other side than we ever imagined, not just could have been, but imagined we could be. I mean, who I am today versus who I was even 5 years ago,
Oh,
night and day,
it
right?
it
Night and day.
and if anyone really looked at their lives, they would see just how different they are,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when you were talking about, life's not really black or white, everything's, I kind of like have embraced the and. It's like, I have this stone on my desk that was given to me when I was going through my training a long years ago on one of the programs I was in. And on one side of it, I don't even know if you can see it, but it says problem.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, it says solution. And they're two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
The solutions for us are always within, and seldom they're not without. They are within. And so we are our own solution to our problems sometimes. And it's learning to understand when we can tap into that.
Yes.
And when you were talking about when you get right up there to the edge and then it's not okay anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is the other thing for me. I don't know about you, and I don't have the same makeup or anything, but it is like I can see I'm starting to get triggered here, and I'm starting to recognize it earlier.
Yes, which is another beautiful part of growth. We can recognize the trigger part in us earlier. Yes.
Earlier, so we can close that gap
Yeah.
of our response or reaction time
Mm-hmm.
and the way and the level we react into, once we start understanding where these things are coming from. And
Yeah.
that takes a serious slowdown and a pause,
Yes.
which we're not used to either because we're used to filling up space and time all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That which is another thing I think that I know we've gained many, many advancements in the past 100 to 200 years, and I personally am very grateful that I don't have to churn butter. However, there's a lot that we always forget progress has a price. Um, and in terms of individuality, like our individual progress, the price is our hard work and letting go of old narratives and letting go of the old dried mud casing that we think is our body. In terms of life, progress, the prices vary. And I think one of the prices that we have paid for all of the progress we've had in the past 100 to 200 years is this massive decrease in patience and the complete inability to let things simply be and take time and go slow. And if there's silence, then there's silence.
Yeah.
And if there's quiet, then there's quiet.
Yeah.
And we don't have to, I can't, if one more person says the word hustle to me, I swear to God, I just like, the hustle mentality. Oh, okay. So I'm so sick of hearing that word. You can go out and be a hard worker, but hustle, hustle, go fast, get it before somebody else gets it. That's no growth, no intelligence, no knowledge, no learning, no change, no love, no peace can happen if we're constantly hustling and going. We have to be able to slow down and be in that gray period and just breathe.
It's what I call, many people do this, slow down to go fast. And I also have come to embrace the great unfolding and not trying to push. It's like forcing the flower open, right? You cannot force the flower to open before it's time. And sometimes we're so bent on hurrying up. We have such an immediate gratification society that we live in. And I love Amazon. Trust me, I like getting over and same day. However, when it comes to what is meant for us, the unfolding of what it requires faith and requires that we're going to put the desire out there and we're going to let it go. We can't hold on and try to control the outcome all the time. And we're very, very control oriented, always wanting to control other people's lives or control what's happening with us or, whatever it is. And that doesn't really work very well either. And plus, then it just sends us into a frenzy, which then causes hustle.
Yeah.
Because you got to do more. You
have to do more to hang on to something that you could never hold on to in the first place. You have to do more to control what was never yours to control in the first place.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
I honestly could talk to you for hours. I really could. But I also know we're winding down to the end. And so I wanted to say again, in a world that has been kind of, we have many different divorce coaches, life coaches, love coaches, etc. But you really stand out and above for me. And I my friend and my ex-wife, actually, she does with career what you do with life and love and career also, where you're trying to reach in and have people find out who they are, become who they are, heal who they are, love who they are, so that they can elevate, or as she says, lane jump, right? Get to the next lane. And I just have so much respect for the way that you approach and the work that you do. And I'm just gonna say this and then I'll shut up. But you talked about, I know this will sound odd, but my divorce, I'm so grateful that occurred. But it's not, we are this beautiful, confusing collection of all of our pains and all of our joys. And I would not trade even the darkest experiences, because they're all like, we all have a little treasure box inside of our chest where we keep the things most sacred to us. And our pains are in there too. Right? Our dark and our light, our pain and our joy, the things that broke us so that we could be reformed and we could grow better.
Yes.
So that, and I love what you do, but also the energy coming from you, because for people who are standing in that deer in the headlights overwhelm or in the hole and don't know how to get out, I can think of few hands I would rather see reaching down into the hole to say, I know the way out, than yours. So thank you very much for the work that you do.
That means so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.